Welcome to Unpublished, a work in progress audio podcast by Denise Renee. Here I share past unpublished creative works, current writing projects still in process, and whatever whimsical musings or deep thoughts I have about the creative process. If this is your vibe, then keep listening as I get into today's content. Welcome to Unpublished, episode 3. I have no idea when this is going to get published, but the irony, right? But I'm recording this right after I recorded episode 2, and that is on Friday, April 26, 2024. This piece that I'm sharing today is a poem. I was big on writing poems when I was in high school. Now, I'm a little bit unsure of this particular date, but it says that it was dated Saturday, May 16th, 1998. That would make me that would put me after college and make me about, let's see, how old was I in 98? Oh gosh. And that would make me about 23, 24 years old, something like that. And this piece is called The Scents, Touch, and Sounds of Love. I'll read it to you and then I'll give you a little backdrop on the other side. At the back of the big but small apartment, in a hovel of a room dimly lit, away from the 4 other women and 2 older than me children, we've stolen a moment alone. Finally, I've warranted her attention undivided. Sometimes I think that all I have to go through to get it, in the end, it's worth it. The steam warms my body as she slips off my elastic band clothes piece by piece. She feels my forehead. Mommy's baby got a fever? Then helps me get into the too hot water. I spring back and cling to her with my half-wet body. Today, she doesn't get mad that I've wet up her work clothes. But you won't get better if you don't get in. The green, punchy-like pine scent of the Acolado Glacial poured into the water travels on the steam, and suddenly I can breathe again. A little bit. Today, her tan hand is running lovingly across my brown bottom. The lush towel smells like Final Touch as she tossles me in it, drying me good. Today, I don't protest with my famous slogan, I can do it by myself, you know. Once she's dressed me in a nightgown, after slicking me down with enough Kerry lotion to make Iraq jealous, she clears everyone from the living room because I have to go to sleep. I enjoy the power my body has temporarily given me. Being the youngest, I know it won't last. My congested head feeling a mile wide, I'm propped up in a chair, like my sister's old Raggedy Ann doll, grateful that she's pulling out the rollaway bed for me and setting it in its usual place, at the mouth of the hallway. Nestling me under the sheets, her hands warm a thick, cold gel into my chest and makes the hallway smell antiseptic. The Vicks vapor rubs zoom straight to my head in a rush. It cleared one nostril, then clogged up the next. She whispers a prayer in my ear, and peace warms my body better than my blankets do. The backside of her fingers feel under my chin and trace my cheeks. The last lingerings of her perfume sprayed hours ago fights unsuccessfully to invade my nostrils. Warm lips pressed to my nose. Mommy loves you. And flu or no flu, I don't sleep that soundly until the next time I'm sick. Now that right there is my mom's favorite piece that I've ever written, and I wonder why. I don't remember why I wrote this, but I did write it, and I put it in a frame, and I think I gave it to her as a gift one Mother's Day or something like that. And she cried like a baby, and she still has it. It's 2024. I wrote this in 1998, and in 2024, that girl still has it. Okay. I think it moved her very deeply. And I think why it moved her is because it's a little slice of my life when I was probably maybe around 4 or 5 years old, something like that. And it's a very particular time in our history. We were living in the Bronx, New York, and the apartment, 2 of my aunts still live in that apartment today. You hear me? Them 2 girls, them are gone listen, them are going to wheel them out from there. Okay. They're not moving. It is a rent controlled apartment. It is huge. It's 3 bedrooms, huge living room, sunken living room, dining room space. Kitchen is small, but whatever. But yeah, they had that apartment from before I was born. Okay. I think they moved to New York. I'll have to tell this story later, but anyhow, when I was born in Tennessee and my mom brought me to New York, maybe I was about a year and a half, about 15 months. And we lived in that apartment since the time and that's my first memories of me living in that, growing up in that apartment. And we lived with 3 of my aunts. Let me see. Who was it? It was my mother and Indy and Ada. Who else? There's other adults. It's Patty. Who else was there? Joy came at one point. And then there was my sister and my cousin. That's 7. And there was another person. There was an 8th person at some point in time. But yeah, that was a lot of women. That was a lot of women. And it was a very particular time, in our lives. And, in that situation, me being the baby, the youngest, I didn't fight for attention. I tried to blend in and tried not to make anybody mad. Because, yeah. So I think when my mom thinks back to that time in her life, she knows she was a different type of person. I mean, she was very, in retrospect, think of it now, she moved to New York because her marriage had failed, wasn't what she was looking for. And she now had 2 kids to take care of by herself. And at that time, she would say, I was really angry. I was angry. I was angry at God. I was angry at the circumstances. I was angry at everybody. So I didn't always get the very loving and gentle, kind side of her. Not that she was being mean to me, not that she was being abusive, but it was just the hustle and bustle of, man, I got to get up, got to go to work. And she had both me and my sister in Catholic school. Like, how that woman put us through private school, I have no idea. But she did, right? So she was doing what she had to do. Yes, she had our family and sisters around to kind of pick up slack a little bit, but not really. But, with childcare, but, it was a community, right? And so to get her in a moment of just, she wasn't rushing, she wasn't upset, she wasn't frustrated, she wasn't trying to get to work. And then also, she worked in church as well. So, she had roles and responsibilities there. So, life was busy, but to get a moment, the only time I got her attention and full on attention and got that really loving, kind, nurturing, soothing part of her was when I was sick. Otherwise than that, it was like, business as usual. Let's go. Everybody had a role to play. So I think I'm just, I'm projecting a little bit, but I think that when she thinks back to that time, it's just a little slice of life, and it reminds her of a time that she's grateful she's no longer there mentally, not spiritually, not financially, not, in any way, shape or form. And I'm sure she's so proud of, I'm proud as her daughter, just watching her progress through the years. I'm sure she's very proud of herself as well. And I think it's just, a slice of life at a very interesting point in time in our lives. So she loves it. I love it as a memory. I wrote it out as a poem, but it almost kind of reads like a story, kind of sort of halfway. But, that's the nice, beautiful nature of poems. It could be very fluid, and it could be, it could be what you make it. So, I hope you enjoyed hearing this little slice of life and this little slice of my past life. And I will see you in the next episode of Unpublished.